a more very uh, informative session on how to navigate the data science landscape, and we'll try to understand a roadmap on the same. Okay. Is my voice very clear to all of you? Couple of you are mentioning that it's not very clear. I hope it is clear. Yes, thank you all. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. So before I start the session, uh, you know, just to make the session more informative and more, objective to what all you want to learn, I request all of you if you can just quickly send me uh, a introduction of yourself in one line by writing down, say, what position are you in currently, say, a data science manager, how many years of experience you have, say, for example, 15 years, and what is your expectation from this webinar? So for me, suppose I want to learn roads data science basics. Okay. So all of you, if you could just send me this, what is your current profile, years of experience, and what you look forward from this session. This will, help us make the session more defined for all of us, more useful for all of us. Okay, how to get in data science as a beginner, want to understand how to use and apply data science. Okay, how data science jobs, etc. is available. Roadmap to be a data scientist. How data is used. What should we learn like SQL? Working for engineering team, want to understand basics of data science. Okay, great, great. So I can see that most of you are not from this field, and basically you want to learn more about data science basics in terms of what are the tools required to be learned, right? Data science roadmap, how to become a data science so that you can eventually apply for jobs in this field, and what data science professional do. Okay. Lastly, many of you have suggested how data science is applied in business. Okay. So I hope this is what our agenda is for this is what our agenda is to be for the next 45 minutes. Okay. Perfect. So let us start with the basic. Anyone wants to add anything else for here? Future scope of data science. Okay. Prerequisites. Okay. Okay. I have got a good feel of what is the expectation from this webinar. Let us try to go after these questions one by one. Okay. Perfect. So the first thing is, let us understand what is data science. Okay. So I know many of you have heard the buzzword, or not. It's not anymore a buzzword. It is a word having a deep depth into it, is artificial intelligence, right? And maybe many of you may want to understand difference between them. Data science and artificial intelligence, right? Perfect. Okay. So essentially, all of you, if I ask you now, what is data, first of all? All of you, what is data? Perfect. So many of you have mentioned, right? Data is a collection of information, right? Data is a collection of information. That is what most of you have mentioned. You know, complex explanation of it, that is data is nothing but raw facts, observations, or measurements. Okay. Now that are typically collected through processes. Can anyone tell me personally in our day-to-day life, right? Who collects our data? Collects our data. So all of you must be knowing that all the sensors and applications in our smart devices, right? They are collecting data. That is where you're going, what you're, how fast you're walking, how many times you slept, what apps you are looking at, what is your search, where did you go throughout the day. All that information is being used, with the smart devices which we have around. How many of you agree with this? Right? So what I'm trying to say that data may come from sensors, it may come from the applications we are using, right? Which are all fully loaded mostly in our mobile phones in today's world, right? So be it entertainment, be it going from one place to another, right? Etc. All the, how much time we split, our lifestyle, our lifestyle habits, everything is being stored in a mobile phone. So essentially, data can be of different types. Unstructured data, right? All the text data that we deal with, image data, right? Etc. Lot of random data we have. Structured data, right? Generally, say, your business data, right? Stock market data, for example, market data, like which is in some tabular format, right? So you have data ranging from structured, unstructured. Some may also divide it as primary data, secondary data, etc. Now the point is, why are the companies, and even now countries, right? Countries, developed countries like Singapore, USA, India, for example, developing countries like India, they are spending billions of dollars in saving, in in essentially collecting data. Why do you think people are spending billions of dollars for this? I'm asking all of you a question. Very good. So most of you are saying insights, right? To get insights and to, in short, to make better decisions. Better decisions, right? So the governments and the companies, all of us are tracking data. So say for example, right? I'm giving you a case study. You are a company which is deciding to put in 3 cloud kitchen in Bangalore for pizzas. Okay, so you are a company which is deciding to put 3 cloud kitchen in Bangalore for pizzas, right? For pizza selling. Now, how will you take a decision? All of you, how will you take a decision? Which areas, right? What rates to sell at? Whom to target, right? How do you decide all these things? Quickly, all of you. Perfect. So you will want some consultant who can give you, the demand of pizzas across Bangalore, right? Now, who will be this consultant? Suppose Zomato or Swiggy, I'm just quoting them, but they may be in this business also. So I hope all of you are getting them. These companies have the data, how many orders, what price, right? What marketing, everything they know in and out about Bangalore or any other city. How many of you are getting what I'm trying to say? So you may want to consult such people who will have the required data and analyze it and take a decision. Is it clear to everyone? Is it making sense? So as they say, data is the new oil, right? What do you mean by that? That without data, like for example, without oil, we cannot move, right? Similarly, in today's world, without data, you cannot take a decision, right? Gone are the days, gone are the days where you would depend on someone's experience to take decision. How many of you agree with it? Now the decisions are mainly backed by experience plus data. Does it make sense? So suppose you have a friend who has a great experience from going to A to B. He is going every day from A to B. But will you consult that friend? Plus, will you also look at Google Map? Yes or no? Right? So in today's world, we just don't consult and based on experience, we take decisions. We try to find out data and then make a call. So I hope all of you are now getting the idea. Why is data so important for countries, companies, even for individuals like us? We also take decisions based on data. Now, who will process this data? Who will process this data? So for that, you require data scientist or data science, or you require data analyst, right? You have business analyst, different position, right, in the market. But essentially, you will require data science to apply on the huge volume of data. Is it clear to everyone till here? Right? Why do you require data science? Now, data science, obviously, you want it to apply on both structured and unstructured data. Right? You require it for both unstructured and structured data. Essentially, why you apply it? Because you want someone or the science to apply scientific methods on a huge volume of data to extract knowledge and insights. Okay. Now, what are the tools in data science? Okay. What are the tools in data science? It requires tools from all the fields. It requires elements of statistics, mathematics, computer science, and also you require a bit of the domain knowledge, the business knowledge of the data you're working with. All of you, those who are clear with it, please raise your hand. Any questions on this, please ask me. Any questions? Great. Okay. So now many of you had asked a question, is programming required? How much coding is required? That comes under computer science. You do require that. Why? Let us answer it. Now, suppose you have huge volume of data. Okay. Let's take, the orders in Bangalore from different geographical positions, GPS, lat long data, right? For pizzas. Now, these will be millions of data points, right? How will you process it? How will you process it? Suppose I ask you a simple question. Which area in Bangalore or which pin code in Bangalore has the highest orders, right? Don't you think you will require some tool, right, to do the same? Some software tool, some coding required here? Yes or no? Yes. So currently, right? Currently, in order to process and manipulate data, right? You will have to learn a programming language, and the most popular programming language currently is Python for data science. Is it clear to everyone? Why do you require Python? Because one programming language you need to know in order to do. Okay. Now, in Python, it is not that you have to learn everything. Like, say, a web developer, right? Someone who is doing web development, they require different packages to learn versus someone who is doing data science using Python. So for Python data science, okay, in Python you will have to learn these topics. One is Python basics, right? Python basics, that is OOPS concept, object-oriented programming concepts. Then you will have to learn about packages like pandas, NumPy, matplotlib. Okay. What are these different packages? We will learn, but I hope this is clear to all of you. Is this making sense to all of you? Yeah. Okay. Now the question some of you have asked, why Python? Can you let me know why Python? Why it is popular right now? Yes. Many of you have mentioned it is simple to learn, right? It has OOPS concept, right? Many of you have not mentioned the main advantage of Python is it is open source, right? It means what? It is free. There is no any licensing required, right? And all the packages which you require to do data science are available in Python. Okay, so it has a huge community, very big, huge community. So these reasons make it very popular. Okay. Now, before I move forward, can you all write this and send it to me? What are the skills in data science or Python you need to learn? Python basics, pandas, NumPy, matplotlib. All of you, can you write this and send it to me? Right? These are the packages. Inside Python, you need to learn about them. Okay. Now, let us understand some basic things about data science. What all constitute data science or what are the main pillars of data science? Okay. So the main components of data science are what? What would be the first step, all of you? If you are working as a data scientist and given the background I have just explained you, what will your first work will be? Very good. First work will be data collection, right? So how do you collect data? You will learn how to collect data and store and store the same from different sources, right? What I mean by different sources, data may come in an Excel file, data may be kept in some, storage account. It may be some in a database. It may be coming from scraping from internet, right? Data may come from various forms, shapes. It may be structured, unstructured. As a data scientist, you will have to learn the tools required to do data collection. So this may even require writing SQL queries, Python codes, right? You may learn, PySpark if your data is huge. If you're working in BigQuery, then you may Google storage, then you may have to learn BigQuery, etc. How many of you are clear with this? The first step will be data collection, right? It may be image data, right? Image data. See, anything it can be. The second step will be once you have the data, it would be data cleaning and processing, pre-processing, what we call pre-processing. Okay. So in this, you will remove all the errors in the collected data, right? You will remove all the missing values. If there is inconsistency in the data, you will remove that, right? All these things will be the work of a data science to clean and process the data. So for this, you may use something like NumPy or Pandas. How many of you are getting the idea? Please raise your hand. Is it making sense to all of you? First step is data collection, then data cleaning and processing. Now comes the third part in which you will have to learn a lot of exploratory data analysis, what in short is called EDA. You will have to learn statistics here. Your understanding of statistics needs to be higher. So you will here do analysis to identify patterns. You will learn about the central tendency of the data. What is the mean, median, mode, right? Mean, median, mode. You may do some test, hypothetical test on data, right? It's called inferential statistics. You will have to do that, right? All these will come under EDA. EDA also includes something called data visualization. It is a part of EDA. I'm writing it separately. So here you will have to make graphs in order to get insights or present or get insights from your data. So there are different types of data, graphs, etc. Here the tools can be Power BI, it can be Tableau, it can be Matplotlib, right? Different visualization tools are there. Here it can be Pandas, it can be NumPy and other packages. Those who are following me, please raise your hand. Anyone has any doubts, please ask me. So what you have done, you have done data collection, you have done data cleaning and processing, you have done exploratory data analysis, you have done visualization of your data. Now comes the part where you do feature engineering. All of you, can you write this and send it to me? Feature engineering. What is feature engineering? Okay, so what is feature engineering? In this, you create new features, right? From the data, from the data, right? So essentially, for example, you have names of countries, okay? In a column, you have names of countries. You convert this text data into numbers. You encode this data, that is called feature engineering, okay? So you will have to learn a lot of feature engineering also. Once you have done feature engineering, then you will do something known as, where we get into the AI zone, which is called machine learning. So here you will train a model, train a model, a machine learning algorithm from the data. All of you, can you write this and send it to me? That after you have done all the data cleaning, exploratory data analysis, data visualization, feature engineering of your data, you will start doing machine learning. What is machine learning? Where you will teach a machine to learn from the data. Teach a machine to learn from the data, right? Now, here you will have to learn a lot of algorithms through which you can teach your machine, through which you can teach your machine, right? And then you can start predicting, predicting, for predicting uh, for the different, for the data, predicting the data or the data by teaching the machine. So just like how machines can predict what next word you want to search, right? Suppose you are writing some word, it suggests what next word you want to search, or the recommendation engine, right? Say Netflix, it recommends you movies, etc. So based on your how you teach it, it will start predicting for you, right? That is machine learning or model building. Okay. And then you will have to learn different types of algorithms. The algorithms are generally regression, classification, clustering, etc. Those who are clear with this, please raise your hand. So this is where it gets into the AI territory, artificial intelligence. So using machine learning, you are trying to create your artificial intelligence. Now, once you have done your machine learning, you have built your machine, right? You have built the machine learning model. You will also have to learn how to evaluate whether your machine has learnt well or not. Machine has learnt well or not. You will have to learn how to evaluate is good or worse. Okay. So this step, some may write it as model evaluation step, right? Model evaluation step. So all of you, if I have to list all these things, right? If I have to list all these things, what are the main components of machine learning? All of you will have to learn. First is data collection, right? Then you have data cleaning and processing, right? You then have exploratory data analysis. You then have feature engineering. In between, we have a step of data visualization. Then you get into machine learning. Then you understand how to evaluate your machine learning model, that is model evaluation. And then once you do this, MLOps engineer or ML engineer, right? You may have heard about these jobs also. ML engineer comes into picture, which takes care of deployment and monitoring. Okay, so the deployment of your model and monitoring of it in a production environment comes into picture. Now, I will remove this ML engineer here. What I am trying to say is all these things are the components of data science. You will have to learn all these things. How many of you are clear till here? So I have listed how many steps here. So if you see 1, 2, this is not a step. 3, this is not a step. 4, this is not a step. Not a step. 6, 7, 8 steps that a data scientist should know about. Those who are able to see my screen, I've listed the steps here. Is it making sense? So if I have to make a table, right, this would be the table for the same. Sorry. What tools are required, what skills are required, what is the description of the steps, everything I have listed here. So let me put it in an Excel file. Are you all clear with this? So every component of data scientist, you will require some skills like statistical knowledge. Here you will learn machine learning algorithms, right? All evaluation metrics. Somewhere you will require what kind of tools to learn. All these have been comprehensively listed here. So if you want to go ahead and become a data scientist, you will have to become experts in each of these steps and you will have to learn the popular tools in that. And then that is how you will develop the skills required. Is this making sense to all of you? Does each component has different job roles or everyone has to learn all the components? So you may become experts, say a day. That's a good question. So if I have to highlight Suppose you are working as a data analyst. Okay, you want to join a team as a data analyst, right? Or a business analyst, right? In that case, you will have to have good grip up to here, right? If you want to just become a machine learning engineer, you will have to learn about these skills. Okay. Obviously, you may require these skills also, right? But they may be low in quantity. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. But suppose you want to become a data scientist, then essentially, at least you should have very good understanding up to here. In that case, this can be low, but at least all these components are expected that as a data scientist, you will know. As a data analyst, you should be heavy up to feature engineering. As a data scientist, you should be heavy up to model evaluation. As a machine learning engineer, you are expected to know from model building to deployment, but your main control should be over deployment and monitoring. I hope, Amit, this answers your question. Is R language compulsory to learn or only Python is enough? Python is enough. R currently is not very popular. For a leadership role in AI/ML, what should be the level of knowledge we require? I think for a leadership role, you will require say up to five. If the rating is 1 to 5, you should know, at least two, or three in all. So you need to have average, some hands-on experience, even as a leader, so that you understand. Maybe not on this one. Deployment is still someone can take care, but if you're a leader, you should have good experience about all these steps. Kubernetes is required if you're into deployment, if you want to become an ML engineer. Okay, perfect. Now, someone of you has asked difference between data analyst and data scientist. I have told you clearly, data analyst is someone who just does the EDA up to EDA, right? Data scientist is someone who knows what the analyst does, but also knows about the other attributes of machine learning and deployment. Is it making sense to all of you? So if I have to draw a Venn diagram, it will look something like this. If I have to draw a Venn diagram, it will look something like this. A data scientist should have good understanding of statistical knowledge, machine learning, computer science, domain expertise. All of them, if you see where they converge, it is about data science. How many of you are super clear? Right? This is what I have explained in this sheet also, step by step. So those who wanted, when we started this webinar, good understanding about data science basics, tools required to learn, data science roadmaps. I hope this is clear to all of you that a data scientist is expected to know about all these activities. Okay, now if I have to go a step deeper, right? So we have covered what we wanted to learn. What is the scope of Scala language for data science? Scala scope is not very high, Deepak. At best, it is used for this step, data cleaning and data pre-processing. If the volume of data is very high, you may require Scala. Otherwise, it's not preferred a lot in the industry. Is creating insights the feature you are talking about? But please explain features again. I didn't get your question, Gundeep. Can you elaborate a bit? Okay. So many of you have asked, you have mentioned about this. This is applicable to all three kinds of data. So as a data science, you will have to deal with three kinds of data. One is numerical data that comes from, for example, how do I zoom in this? Yeah. You will have numerical data, which is like stock prices, right? Price sales of, say, cars, right? Whether a person has COVID, right? X-ray, whatever it is, right? The other kind of data you will be dealing is text data, right? Say Twitter, Twitter is what we call, say, sentiment analysis, right? You have Twitter real-time analytics, right? All this you will have to deal with text data. Then you will have to deal with image data, right? Face recognition problem, right? Object detection problem, right? All these as three kinds of data a data scientist is expected to have good information about. But some data scientists are expert in processing text data, some are expert in processing image data, some are expert in numerical data, right? So a little bit of everything, a depth in one of this. How many of you are clear with this? Is it making sense to all of you? Okay. So now few of the questions which I am seeing are, you have large amount of experience in a different field. Should we still learn this? I would say yes. These are essential skills now. This will always help you in whatever projects you are doing. And as you can see in the currently this is what is being invested a lot by companies, right? Each company has huge amount of data and all of them want to leverage it in-house. So they are building data science teams. They require data scientists who can do all these things. Okay. One of you has asked, can you elaborate on 7, 8, 9, 10 steps? I can do that. So for example, if you are building a machine learning model which can predict whether a person has COVID, yes or no. Okay. So what is the input data here? The input data, for example, is the CT scan, right? The input data may be some biological, blood tests which may have been done, biological test reports, right, etc. What is the output expected? Whether the person has COVID, yes or no. Now, in step 8, what will be done is, you will teach a machine which say 10,000 images, 10,000 CT scan data, right, and biological data. And you will also give 10,000 output, what we call labeled output, that whether the person had COVID, yes or no. So each CT scan, 10,000 each CT scan, and each output is labeled as yes or no. So in this step of model building, you will teach with this example and the machine will learn, okay, if this is the pattern in CT scan, the output is yes. If this is not found, the output is no. So based on that, model building is done. Once that is done, once that is done, then you are able to process it further. Then you are able to do send an unlabeled CT scan, and the machine will predict whether it has COVID or not, which is having more scope, data analyst or data engineer. I think both are same. See, you will require people who do data engineering, you will require people who do data analysts. So both have their own scope. Both, I think pay wise also, both of them are, uh, more or less same. But if you're working as a data engineer, your natural progression will be to learn data analyst, and then you will learn about machine learning. And if you're working as a data analyst, a natural extension for you would be to learn the tools of data engineering. How many of you are getting what I'm trying to say here? Generally, this is how transition happens. People who are data engineers, they learn skills of data analysts, they learn skills of data machine learning. Similarly, those who are already data analysts, they first learn more about machine learning, and they also learn about data engineering, because all of them go hand in gloves. Okay. Data engineer may not know. So data engineer, don't get confused. Data engineer necessarily does not need to learn all these. It Data engineer just learns how to store the data, how to ensure that data is enriched. That is how data engineers learn. Perfect. So with this, I'll end today's session. I hope you all could make sense out of this, right? Many of you are asking for the link of this spreadsheet. I can share it with all of you. I can share this link with all of you. So a couple of you have asked for this link. I have shared the same with all of you. Yeah. Perfect. I hope all of you enjoyed the session. I think whatever we set out to learn, we have been able to complete those objectives. Uh, do let me know your feedback, how you enjoyed the session. Stay connected with me. Thank you all. Take care. Bye.